What's up, Bravehearts community? This is Sean Heineman here with another segment of Two Divorced Guys. And today's episode is going to be a quite interesting one. We're going to kind of flip the script a little bit. Shout out to my co-host Vince, who wasn't able to make it with us today. But I have a special guest in the house with me today. And I'm excited about this young lady. Tara Latrice, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. It is a great day to have a great day.
I know that's right. And of course, we're going to address dating, divorce, remarriage, and all that other good stuff. And first of all, for those who might not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and what you do.
For sure. My name is Tara Latrice, and I'm an entrepreneur. I own my own salon here in Pflugerville, and I also own a online boutique by the name of 1989. And yeah.
1989. That's the year.
That is the year that God created perfectness. I'm kidding.
I know you are good. You are good with me. It's all good. Well, let's jump into this because I want to make sure that I value your time. Can you tell me what dating was like for you before marriage?
So, honestly, I never really dated. I guess when I think of dating, I think of like no strings attached, kind of just, you know what I'm saying, trying to get a feel for everything. I never really had that. I never did that. That was not something that that I did. I was always in a relationship, and I never honestly openly dated. There was always a commitment attached to dating. There was never it wasn't just dating,
Yeah.
It was always a commitment. So that was my dating life, a commitment, really.
Oh, so you came out the gate like that then. You was like,
yes.
You just go, really?
Yes, so it was never I never my dating life before marriage, everything, I never actually dated. It was always like I said, there was always a commitment attached to it. There was never, I'm dating, so no.
Yeah. That's what's up. That's good to hear, because I mean, and that's a fresh take, because me, I guess I'm a little older. I guess I'm telling my age, but in the era I grew up in, everybody was trying to be, player and all this other stuff, and trying to have all the women and all this other stuff, right? Never quite worked for me. I never, I don't know if I wasn't too cool or what. I don't know, but but I've spent time in some long-term relationships, but hearing your perspective is a fresh one for sure. So, okay, with the commitment then, so what made you get into marriage? What made you take a extra step into saying, well, let's do this?
So I guess at that, because I got married when I was 24, 24, about to be 25, somewhere around there. And I was, at that time, I was going through a lot because I had just dealt with the passing of my mother. And I guess her passing kind of just made me solidify the fact that I wanted to go ahead and start a family. I wanted to do this because, this is what I knew that my mom would love to have seen.
Yes.
And so on and so forth. So it was I was ready to settle down and literally start the next chapter of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I felt like marriage was that next step, you know, in that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, alongside, you know, the picture was not painted perfect at all. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of questionable things that happened way before the I do was said, but it was like, okay, like I know that this is something that I want to do, and this is something that this is someone that I could see myself being with for a while, you know, or longer, you know what I'm saying? Like, or forever.
Yeah.
But but yeah, so that's kind of like what made me decide that I wanted to get married, was like me realizing, okay, I'm ready for the next step in my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about the passing of your mom. Didn't know too much about that, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely, I think it definitely played a major role in a lot of what kind of happened, like afterwards, like especially like the marriage portion of it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So you figured that was something that mom wanted you to do. She wants you to get married, huh?
Mm-hmm. She
Yeah.
wanted me to get married. She wanted me um to be happy, and she felt like the um the person that I was with, she really did like her, you know, in the beginning and all of that stuff. So but yeah, she really just didn't get to really meet her before her passing. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So mom did get to meet her. So
Mm-hmm.
okay. Yeah. So if let's talk about what let's go kind of, you know, just kind of change it up a little bit. What made you say it's time to divorce? What was
Well,
that
in that,
process like? Or yeah, you can give us the
so
big.
like within that relationship, like
Mm-hmm.
I said, it definitely started off on the wrong foot,
Okay.
in the sense like when um like it came to my mother's passing.
Mm-hmm.
um you know, when something that traumatic happens to you, and like I said, I was like 24, 25 when this happened. So like I was in the middle of my 20s, still trying to figure out stuff, and you know what I'm saying, not having my mom as a guiding light for a lot of the things, kind of, you know, it took a toll on me. I mean, death takes a toll on anybody in any way.
Yes.
But and then like with that, like I guess I grieved differently. Like I was very silent, very, you know, just kind of like shut off.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, because I'm dealing with stuff internally,
Yeah.
my fiance,
Mm-hmm.
like not wife yet, but
Right.
fiance,
Mm-hmm.
right? Fiance
Right.
ended up stepping out and doing God knows what God knows who. And the reason that she gave was because she felt like I was cold and distant after my mother passed away. And mind you, like this was, let's say my mother passed away the end of May, say May 31st, literally July
Mm-hmm.
1st.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like literally like a month later, you're out doing God knows what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it didn't start off on the best of terms at all. Like the marriage did not start off that way, but like I felt like I needed to learn to forgive,
Yeah.
you know, in order for us to prosper and to move forward. And that's something that I did have to do. But ultimately, like I said, like that's just the beginning. Like that was literally the red flag that I did not pay attention to.
Yeah. So I was
But
gonna ask you red flags.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So but ultimately what ended the marriage was lies and infidelity on my ex-wife's part.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like how it starts and how it ends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
Like so a lot of the time, like even throughout that our marriage, the D word, divorce, the the word that shall not be said,
Right.
was thrown up a lot. I remember that there was a time that I had drawn up papers and I was ready for this, like, just to be done. Like, I was ready for it to be done. I was tired. But I ended up not, you know, pushing play on it. Like, I just kind of just held it, just like, okay, well, she apologized for this. She apologized for that. She said she's going to change, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. But honestly, it wasn't until my ex actually ended up deploying that things kind of changed, and our marriage easily fell apart. And that to me just kind of showed how it wasn't really that strong to begin with, because I mean, I know in the military, it's like, one of the known things, if you will, that infidelity is very, very high. Divorce rates are very, very high among military members. Yeah. And it's a well-known fact. So, but to the percentage of those people that have never cheated on their spouse while being in the military, like it's something to be said about those individuals, you know what I'm saying, in their partnership.
Yeah.
But that mostly being that the foundation that they've built between the two of them, and what their relationship, their marriage stands on is solid.
Yeah.
So not there has to be some type of, something really dramatic, tragic, or something to shake that foundation. But if it's so easy for you to deploy and then everything, starts crashing down, it's just kind of questions how good was the foundation in the beginning, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So, but anyways, but what ultimately said, okay, it's time to, go, was the continuation of the lies and the deceit and infidelity. And the way that things kind of went about. There's, like I said, there's so many stories, so many like things that, like, when you step back, you take a look, and you're like, why did you even allow yourself to go through that? Like, that's not, that ain't right. So it was, but ultimately that was it.
Yeah.
And it was just, we just had to go our separate ways.
Yeah, I understand, because my ex-wife, her mom had passed when we were together. So yeah, and it was one of those things where she, because I feel like you didn't get the chance to grieve properly. Because anytime you lose somebody like a mom, I mean, of course, it takes a process. You said it's probably about a month time. She really didn't give you any time to grieve. Yeah. And with my ex-wife, when she lost her mom, it was maybe 2 years later, maybe even 3 years later, before I just really drew up the courage to be like, the marriage is not going to make it. Not so much of that I divorced her because she didn't want to pick up the pieces, but it was more, I just felt like she just gave up on life, just not wanting to push forward.
And do stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and that can be hard, because sometimes you feel bad, but at the same time, you kind of need people to, pick it up somehow eventually, and everybody's grieving process is different. So
yeah, this is totally true. And I've said that on multiple occasions, and I feel like, one of her excuses that I remember vividly is that, well, I've never been with somebody who's lost a parent. That isn't what, like that. That's like, I get it. Like, maybe you don't know what to do in that exact moment when that exactly happened, but like, it's just like, just be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally just being there that makes all the difference. You don't even have to necessarily have to say something. We could be sitting on the couch and I'm just glaring off into space. Like, you just sitting on the couch with me is like, says so much. You know what I'm saying? And like, and I just felt like that was a cop out. That was an excuse for her to be like, oh, okay, you know, this is like, this is my excuse, and that's solely because you're going through something that I'm doing this. You know, so it's just like, but 2 or 3 years like after someone passing, and I feel like, you know, yes, and this is literally from me me like realizing like that, you know, of course, like everybody goes through something, everybody's grieving process is different, like you stated, you know, but I mean, I've dealt with some major stuff, and I have bounced back, you know what I'm saying, pretty good in my opinion. From the stuff. But I just feel like, you know, but then again, it's like I can't even say that 2 or 3 years is too long, you know, to deal with the emotions, because it's like the after effect of stuff. It's like there's still residue. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I can't even say that 2 or 3 years is a long time to be grieving over something. But at the same time, it's like if you're not making a progress, you're not trying to do stuff, and that's when the issues are posed and the questions start to arise. But but a month, come on now.
You gotta at least give them some time. Like I said, everybody's grieving process is different, and that's when you depend on your spouse when those things happen.
Exactly. That's
those dark times, you know, when they, you know, you're supposed to be that strength for that person. They can help carry them through. So and I kind of been there in that process, so I get it. You know. So how are you doing now overall?
I mean, overall, I'm actually really, really good. I'm really, really good. I have, like, I'm in a really good place. I'm in a good place in my business. I'm in a good place in my life. Like, everything is really, really good. Honestly, really, really good. Yeah, it's really, really good. And so.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. What piece of advice would you give someone who is going through a divorce? What would you say to them?
First, I wouldn't even go whereas before you get to the marriage part to get to the divorce.
Okay.
Premarital counseling. 100%. 100% premarital counseling. And like literally because, or therapy in general, like therapy for yourself, you know what I'm saying? Not even necessarily you and your spouse together, although that is an important part, but you know, you figuring out, you know, if this is even the person that you want to be with. Like they might be a person that you want to be with now because you've gone through some type of trauma and your trauma is attracted to whatever it is that they have going on. You like that for that moment because you're going through this specific thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but ultimately before even marriage, like check yourself. Make sure that you are okay. You know what I'm saying? Before you say I do. Not saying that once you say I do, you're stuck, but you know, it takes work to dig yourself out of stuff. So, you know, just make sure that you're okay, because you may find that the reason why you've selected the partner that you selected is, like I said, is based off of trauma.
Yeah.
And you suppress dealing with the things and, you know, so on and so forth. And you're just not necessarily willing to deal with that in the present. So it's like, definitely going to counseling for the show beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would give somebody, what advice I would give somebody going through a divorce, I would say, you know, like one thing that I say that works for me is literally like taking a step. Like I went to therapy, I went to counseling after, during my divorce and afterwards, like after it was finalized. And you know, sometimes, you know, your friends, you know, they're biased. Of course, they're gonna want what's best for you. Not saying that their opinions or their advice isn't, you know, valid, because it is.
Right.
But getting a third party who has absolutely no ties to anybody is important, because especially if you find a counselor or a therapist who is real, because I mean, not every therapist is good for everybody.
That's true.
But once you like going to therapy really, really helps, because it really helps me break down some of the way that I was thinking, and how I would like almost self-sabotage like certain things within my relationship. And how I put myself on the back burner because I was too afraid to shine brighter than my partner. Not necessarily saying that, oh, I'm taking up the limelight or nothing like that, but I would dim my light down to make sure that, you know, she was okay, or like, you know, whatever have you. And, you know, once my light started to shine a little bit brighter than hers, that's when problems started to rise and stuff or whatever. So it's just like, you know, talking it out, and all that with somebody, like I said, who is not biased, is very, very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, because after I went through my divorce, and you know, I got therapy, and I've been my therapist for 2 years now.
It's so, like, now we married now. You know everything about me, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, right. And it's funny because I always tell my wife, I say, you know, I always joke around with her and tell her I'm a commitment whore. Once I'm stuck with you, you know, I'm stuck with you. Yeah, right. So yeah, I feel you. I'm glad you talked about therapy, because I know it seems like nowadays it's kind of like the popular thing. You know, but do it and just for anybody who's listening, do it for you. Don't do it just because, you know, it's popular.
Just to say you did it.
Yeah.
Like actually get something from it, you know, get something from your therapy sessions, because you like, what are you doing? What are you doing this for if you're not doing it to better yourself? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And I shout out to my therapist too for helping me see myself, you know, because even with divorce, there was a lot of stuff that I did not deal with that know, my first marriage I just didn't deal with, and now I'm able to see those things, and I'm a lot more emotionally healthy for my family now, because I recognize all the, you know, the childhood trauma I had, the stuff that I considered normal was trauma, you know. So yeah, shout out to the therapists and those in the field. We appreciate y'all.
Yes, because man, saying, whoo.
After going through your divorce, what did healing look like to you? For you, was that like journaling? Was that, I know you said therapy, but
yeah,
what did you do, and even in your own time? Like,
so I'm not gonna lie, I did journal a little bit. I did what I ended up doing, which I found to be a little bit better than journaling, was actually doing videos. Like I would literally record myself. It was like a voice, like a live diary almost. Like I would record myself, even if I'm crying or I'm upset or whatever. And then like once I calm down, I'll like replay it And like after literally once I calm down and I'm not even in the same headspace, like I'll replay it, I'll rewatch it. And then I realize, like, why am I tripping? You know, like, why am I tripping about this point that I made now? Like, that's not even important to me at this particular moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, I just found out that she was talking to somebody and da-da-da. Okay. We all know she was a cheater. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, now putting a face to a name, or putting several faces to several names, is not going to negate the fact that, you know, like, it's not going to, you know, make it any better or any worse. It's literally like you're solidifying the reason why you're getting divorced in the first place.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she was no good for you at this point in time in your life. So I used to do that. My friends, like, were a huge help with that. And I don't think that I mean, not saying that you shouldn't feel things, you shouldn't feel like what you're going, like, not saying that you shouldn't feel all of the emotions, because I felt every emotion, and I allowed myself to feel every emotion anytime that I needed to feel it. Good. But it was like, once I had like a negative thought, like, my friends were like, nope, we're about to go do something fun. We're about to go this. You know what? Pack your bags. We finna go out of town. Pack your bags. We finna go, you know, do something. You know, get your purse. We finna go have a drink. Get your purse. We finna go dancing. Get your purse. We finna go shopping. Get your purse. We finna go, you know, to the nail salon. You know what I'm saying? They would get me out of the house. They would get me doing things that I enjoyed doing. So it's like, when I would have a negative thought, and I would, you know, talk to them about it, it'd be like, okay, yeah, okay, cool. Well, come on over. I'm about to make dinner. So, you know, make sure that you eat. You know what I'm saying? It was like, they were literally my saving grace with that, because me being an only child, and I am an only child, so like, I don't have any siblings, and I'm not entirely close to my mother or my father's side of the family. I'm just kind of like the black sheep, if you will. So my friends are literally my family. So they picked up the pieces, you know, and helped me put myself back together. Yeah. And they encouraged me to go on dates. Like I said, I had never did the whole non-committed dating thing. Yeah. But you know, once my divorce was as my divorce was being finalized, me and my ex, of course, we separated. Right. I moved out of the house, and you know, she stayed in the house. And you know, I was like, okay, you know, I'll make some new friends. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna make some new friends. So I did that. I kind of dated a little bit, you know.
So what was that like for you then?
It was so weird. Because I don't do that. So it was like, what am I doing? I don't know what to do. Like, what do I do? Okay, so we at the bar. Okay, football's on. All right, what's your team? Like, you know what I'm saying? You want a beer? You know, like, okay, you know, it was so weird and different, me doing that. But I am glad that I did step out of my element and tried that, because, you know, I ain't never tried it before. So, cool. But really, it was just about enjoying my life, my friends, and for what it was, what they are, and like, that's it. Like I said, like, therapy like helped, because like you said, it kind of, you know, therapy puts you, it shows you the things that you were dealing with that you didn't have to deal with, so it puts you in your place when it comes to that. And that helped a lot too, because there was some stuff that was questionable. Like, why are you doing that? There's no reason for you to be doing that. Why is you doing that?
Yeah.
You don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But I didn't put pressure on myself to do anything that was like too much. And when I say too much, it's like trying to date people. I didn't put too much pressure on myself. It's like if we had a good conversation and then we go to dinner and then that ends, cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I didn't I just kind of just let it flow. Good. I was very fluid in that respect to myself, because I was like, I'm not about to do this whole I need to commit mm-hmm. thing until I really wanted to commit to somebody.
Yeah, that's good. So you didn't. There was no pressure. That's good. Yeah. Because some people feel like that pressure,
And of course, like your marriage is ending, so it's like you feel like you're a failure. Mm. You know what I'm saying? And then in the back of your head, like anybody who feels like a failure, like naturally you start to think of ways to not be a failure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that look like? Do I get into another relationship? Do I, like whatever problem that you had on the outside of your relationship, whether it be having kids, do I have a kid now and then have this blissful marriage, on the outside? You know what I'm saying? It's like, do I have, whatever it is that you are failing at, or that what made your marriage fail, you feel like you have to like go 10 times hard to prove that that's not like, that that's not it. Like, I'm not done. I'm not a failure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just, no, I'm not worried about that. You can think I'm a failure all you want to. I'm going to keep doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that's literally it.
That's good. Yeah. And that way you was able to control your own destiny in that area. And
yes.
you didn't have to prove nothing to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
that's great.
I feel like we get into so much shit, for lack of better words, situations that we don't need to necessarily be in because we're trying to prove ourselves to somebody, or, to prove ourselves to be something in the eyes of people who don't matter.
Yeah.
And like what are you gonna do? Like if this, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why are we like this as people, as humans? Why are we like this? It's like the incessant need to want to please or something. It's weird.
Yeah, especially to people who don't even care about you anyway.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I could have invited you to the wedding and you ain't never talked to me after that ceremony. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I got to prove to you? Like,
yeah. They just came for the free food and left.
Exactly. The free food and the free booze. That's it.
That's it.
Okay. And to take some cute pictures and then talk about you.
Yep. Put it on the gram and then talk about you on the way home. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
I know, right? Oh my God. As the show get ready to close, to come to an end, this has been some great content. I know this is helping somebody. Okay, now let's speak of today. Are you dating now, or would you even remarry?
Yes, I am dating. I am dating again, and I am, and I would remarry.
Good, good. That's good to hear.
Yeah. So, it's like my current partner, she's amazing. And literally she's like a breath of fresh air. We actually met like years ago, like over 11 years ago, and then reconnected again, 8 years later. Yeah, so it's been cool.
That's good. That's good. And so she gets that new version of you, that therapy healed.
The healed version, because when she met me before, I was probably worse. I was like, I was out here wilding. Okay, doing too much. Okay, too much too soon.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but yeah, she's at first I was like contemplating, like I thought about this myself, like would I remarry?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, and I was like, I don't care. Like, I don't care to. It's not that big of a deal, you know what I'm saying? And I still kind of have that same mindset. Like, I'm not in a rush as much as I was in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like, you know, this is the next step. Like if I'm looking at the order of things, you know, how life's going, or how, you know, the average person is married by this time. So I need to be married by this time. And instead of me thinking like that, I just realized that, you know, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool. I'm cool on marriage for right now. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, it's not something that I'm pushing as much as I was in the past.
Yeah.
Because if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna make sure I do it right.
Yeah.
Or as right as it possibly can be.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And like I said, I am open to marriage. But yeah, my first marriage did not make me, you know, hate the sound or the word marriage. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, I learned a lot about myself and the type of partner that I want going forward with that first marriage. And yeah, I say, like, you know, hey, if at first you don't succeed, try again.
Yeah, right. And you sound healed too. You know, you sound healed. You don't sound bitter or resentful. You know, and that makes a big difference too.
Yeah,
especially getting back out here in this dating world.
Man, I don't even know. Like, you know, sometimes I have my days where I'm just like, you know what, F this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know. But then it's just I realize that it's not worth my time or my energy to even sit here and, you know, think about things of the past, because it's back there and I'm right here. I'm not looking back at it, you know. So I mean, hey, I always say it's her loss. But whatever.
I know that's right. Gotta love the attitude towards life and
okay.
You know, starting over. You know, gotta love on yourself, because you know, you know, if not, who else gonna love on you? Gotta love on yourself. Yeah. Well, Tara, this has been an amazing episode with you being a guest today. Is there any closing remarks, anything that you would like to hear the Brave Hearts community, anything that you want to share with them as we end this episode?
Just to touch on, like, therapy. Just again, therapy in all aspects of your life is definitely needed. Through grieving, because I mean, we all have had our fair share of grieving in whatever capacity that is. So definitely, I would say heal before you seal the deal. You know what I'm saying? Because
I might steal that one from you, just letting you know.
Heal before you seal the deal.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know in advance. If you see I post that on Instagram, I'll put your name under it, but I'll still post it.
Look, all right, I'll take it. But no, for sure, heal before you seal the deal, because if you don't, it's only going to perpetuate a cycle. So you have to heal those traumas about yourself, or at least attempt to acknowledge your triggers and different things like that, you know, before you can really access, like, your full potential. You know what I'm saying? Your full self. Because there's a lot of people have a lot of closed doors, hidden doors, locks, keys, and a whole lot of emotions and feelings are locked behind those doors, and those, you know, we throw away the key. You know what I'm saying? So definitely speaking to someone to to have like a mental check-in, because there's nothing wrong with therapy. Some people, although it's like the cool thing to do now, mental health is a huge focus, which I'm glad that it is, because it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, like, take it seriously.
Yeah.
And really try to work on you before jumping into something with somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, because there some people, like you say, is therapy is the buzzword. It's hot right now, and then people, yeah, I'm gonna go to therapy. They go to their first session and they like, I ain't going back to that no more.
Mm-hmm. Because and the thing about it is that those are the folks that probably need to really sit down and listen to a few words from their therapist, and not necessarily just one session in, one session out. Like, that's not going to do anything. And we have to be vulnerable. You have to be ready to be vulnerable. If you're not ready to be vulnerable and you still have walls built up, and I mean, we all still have walls built up, but if you're not willing to release or let go and not be so much in control, then you're not going to get anything out of therapy. You have to be willing to, like, literally be vulnerable with somebody that you don't know, which is actually not as bad as it sounds.
Exactly. Yep.
So it's probably best that you're vulnerable with somebody that you don't know, because what they gonna do? They gonna hold nothing over your head. You ain't got nothing that they need. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? They're not necessarily, you don't have anything that they need, but they don't know you enough to hold something over your head.
Yeah.
So.
And they've probably heard 10 times worse. If they're good, they probably heard 10 times worse than anything that you've been through.
Exactly. So think about that too, when you're going into these therapy sessions, like, okay, I know I'm not crazy, because there's other people in the world who have felt this, or there's other people who have come to you and have, felt this way. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, y'all, therapy, counseling, do it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Thank you so much, Tara, for your time. Those who are watching and listening, let everyone know how they can get in touch with you.
All right, guys. So you can hit me up on Instagram. My Instagram name is I am Tara Latrice. Latrice is Latreece. You can also message me on Instagram. Besides that, Facebook. That's me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Brave Hearts community, you heard it here first. Make sure you get in touch with Tara. She does excellent work, because my wife goes to her on the regular. So yeah, so y'all make sure that you all connect with her, and make sure that you leave a rating and review. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave a rating and review. Would love to hear from you. And if you are watching this on YouTube, then you can also leave a rating and review. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I am Sean Heineman with special guest today, Tara Latrice. And we are out, people. Take care.